Hi friends, welcome to Social Studies with Miss Shin today. Let's start by going over our learning intentions. Today, we are learning to examine physical characteristics of our community so that we can understand the world around us. We will be successful when we can draw a map of Kansas that includes some of the characteristics of Kansas. So in our previous lesson, we explored Topeka and some of the characteristics of Topeka. In today's lesson, we are going to branch out and explore Kansas and the characteristics of the state that we live in, Kansas. Some vocabulary terms that I would like to go over with you today are prairies. Prairies are flat or hilly grasslands, and they're mostly located in the eastern part of Kansas. The next vocabulary word is plains. Plains are areas of flat land that do not have many trees. The western part of Kansas is mostly made up of plains. Okay, friends, so right now I need you to get a pencil and a paper or something to write with. It is fine if you get a whiteboard and a dry erase marker, as long as you can take notes. Go ahead and pause the video to get those supplies. Okay, friends, today we're going to read a book titled Kansas. As I'm reading, I want you to take notes of some of the characteristics that we read about that describe the state of Kansas. Okay, so the title of our book is Kansas. The author is Amy Van Zee. Geography. Let's explore Kansas. Kansas is in the central United States. This area is called the Midwest. The Missouri River makes the northeastern border of Kansas. So over here, we see a picture of Kansas with all the cities. Well, a lot of the cities. These aren't all the cities. Cities. Topeka is the capital of Kansas. Wichita is the largest city in the state. Kansas City is a well-known city in Kansas. About 120,000 people live in Kansas. All right, friends, so on your piece of paper, a good note that I would write down is that Topeka is the capital of Kansas. That is one characteristic of Kansas that we have learned about. Okay. Land. The eastern part of Kansas is mostly prairies. The western part of the state is high plains. Some parts of Kansas have tall hills and deep valleys. The Arkansas River and the Kansas River run through the state. Kansas has many grass prairies. So in this picture, we see a large section of grassy land with a little bit of hills off in the horizon. So in that section, we learned that prairies are mostly in eastern Kansas and plains are largely in western Kansas. Plants and animals. The state tree of Kansas is the cottonwood. This type of popular tree is good for shade. Kansas state flower is the sunflower. It has yellow petals and a brown center. The state bird is the western meadowlark. These birds are usually brown and black. Sunflowers grow about 3 to 15 feet tall, and we can see pictures of sunflowers. Sunflowers grow a lot in Kansas, so that is something that I chose to put in my notes. I know if we're headed toward Lawrence, we can see sunflowers, and there's even parts of Topeka that have great big sunflower fields. Have you ever visited them? They are beautiful. People and work. More than 2.8 million people live in Kansas. Many people work in farming. Farmers here grow wheat, corn, and sunflowers. Hogs and cattle are raised here too. Other people work in manufacturing. Many make computer parts. Many airplanes are built in Kansas. Some workers in Kansas make equipment. So I didn't take any notes on this page, but there was a lot of information, like things that grow here: wheat, corn, and sunflowers, and also that Kansas makes many computer parts and lots of airplanes are built here. History. Explorers from Spain came to the area that is now Kansas in the 1500s. At the time, many Native Americans lived on the land. Kansas became a U.S. territory in 1854. It became the 34th state on January 29, 1861. Native Americans from the Comanche tribe have called the Kansas area home. Ways of life. Many people fish and boat on Kansas lakes. Hunting is another popular activity. Many people in Kansas also enjoy music, art, and going to theaters. The lakes in Kansas are good places for fishing. So, friends, I stopped to take some more notes and I wrote, people like to fish, boat, and hunt in Kansas. But that's not all they like to do. We also read that they liked art, listening to music, and going to theaters. Any of those things would be good notes to take right now. Famous people. Amelia Earhart was born in Kansas. She was the first woman to fly an airplane across the Atlantic Ocean. Walter Percy Chrysler was also born here. He started the Chrysler Corporation that makes cars. Former football player Barry Sanders was born in Kansas too. Amelia Earhart was born in Atchison, Kansas. Famous places. Kansas has many national parks. Workers in the parks care for prairies and grasslands. People can camp and see animals here. The Mine Creek battlefield was the site of a large U.S. Civil War battle. The Pawnee Indian Museum tells the story of the Native American group that has lived in the Kansas area for many years. The Tallgrass Prairie National Reserve is a large area in Kansas. The Flint Hills is one of the last remaining tallgrass prairies in North America. So in this picture, we see the Flint Hills. Okay, so this isn't really flat land. This is those hilly lands that we discussed. One of the notes that I thought would be good is that Kansas has many national parks. All right, friends, so we've come to the end of our book. Can you remember some of the characteristics of Kansas that we discussed? Yeah, so I remember things like prairies and plains and hmm, sunflowers grow here and wheat grows here. Airplanes are built here. Topeka is the capital of Kansas. So all of those are really good characteristics that describe our state of Kansas. Okay, so let's go over our learning intentions. Today we're learning to examine physical characteristics of our community so that we can understand the world around us. We will be successful when we can draw a map of Kansas that includes some of the characteristics of Kansas. So in your seesaw lesson today, friends, you have a map of Kansas and you are going to use your drawing tool to draw some of the characteristics that we talked about. You may also use your text tool to label the characteristics, and it would be great if you used your mic tool to explain some of the characteristics. When you're all done, don't forget to click the check so your teacher can see your wonderful work. Okay, so if I were doing this activity, friends, some of the things that I would draw on my map of Kansas are some of the things that we discussed while we were reading our book. So first, I would probably start by locating the capital of capital of Kansas and drawing a star and the word Topeka. So go back in the video to find where is Topeka on the map. So then I would think about some of the other things that described Kansas. We talked about prairies and grasslands, so I might draw lots of grass. We talked about sunflowers and wheat, so those are some other things that I might draw on the map. So think about those characteristics and draw them on the map of Kansas so that way everyone will know what you learned about Kansas. All right, friends. Thanks for doing social studies with me today. I will see you next time. Bye.